On today's episode of That Mental Ginger Show, we are talking to performer Chris Scougal. We made this an extra long episode because Chris had a lot to say and I just wanted to listen to everything he had to say. He was such a brilliant guy. Really, I didn't feel like an extended episode aside from the fact that Zoom kicked us out twice. But time flies when you're having fun, eh?
All right, troops.
Colin, a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. How are you keeping?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Surviving the heat.
Yeah, I'm just about that myself. It was when I got the boys yesterday and they were like, what do you want for dinner? And they're like, they want chicken dippers, which obviously involves going into an oven.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear to God, it felt like I was giving Satan a prostate exam when I stuck my hand in there. Oh, it was a nightmare, man. It was unreal. I find it so brilliant because for anybody that's watching at the time of this recording, it's when the heat wave is going through, and I'm ginger and I'm coping with it better than half you fuckers out there. Well, yeah. Everybody's put up, oh, it's sweltering, it's boiling, it's roasting. I'm like, you're merely adopting this hate of heat. I've been born with it. I've been bred into this hatred. Well, I know. I was the only one that was like, you know, the same way to survive the heat is the same way to survive COVID. Stay in, stay safe, save your own life.
See, I'm half a fat man hiding in a skinny man's body, so I'm the lesser of two evils here. But yeah, I don't cope in the heat at all. This is my third t-shirt change today so far.
I know that feeling all too well. I'm only on my second, in fairness, so I'm doing not bad. Well, but see, when it was my honeymoon, about 6 years ago, we went to Florida, and oh my God, I was just like a white heap, just a puddle, just drifting across International Drive. Like, Alison, I'm going to kill you. Well, this is a nightmare. But yeah, so that explains how well I survive in the heat. Not too much. We just kind of mutate.
I don't mind the heat. It's the constant sweat. Like, I'm a sweaty beast at the best of times anyway. I'm probably the only man that actually sweats bucket loads during winter as well when it's freezing cold.
I do that too, actually. So you're not the only one. It's because gingers naturally run warm as well. So like even in winter, I'm like, if you're patting away, and Alison's like, your hair is ringing, and I'm like, well, you told me not to get a haircut. Deal with the sweat.
Yeah. See, I always describe myself as an Italian ginger. So I burn in the sun no matter what I do. Factor 50, I burn, and then 2 or 3 days later I go really, really dark brown. So it's Italian ginger heritage is what I blame.
Yeah, I'm right. Mine's just straight up ginger. It's burn right back to white. I'm the guy that when people go on holiday, they come around to stand next to me, just so they can look more tanned. Yeah, my dad used to call it the white check.
I normally roll my sleeve up and then see the difference from brown to white. I don't know if you see that on the thing there.
I kind of see it. Well, in my case, it's just constant white.
Constant white.
Well, my skin's like tracing paper. Anyway, enough about me and my madness, man. We're here to talk about you and your madness. And what I like to do is to start by getting you to tell my faithful followers your origin story, because the one thing we've all got in common is we all have an origins. So, Chris, for my faithful followers, please tell us your origin story.
Okay, so I'm Chris. I was brought up in Uddingston until the tender age of 8. Moved to England, where I stayed until I was 21. I got into singing probably from primary school age, although I was really, really bad at it, like really appalling. So much so that my mum kept saying, no, this isn't for you. Don't do it. Get a career, get a backup. I didn't actually start singing properly until I was 13. I entered the school talent show. Didn't tell the teachers what I was singing or anything. Got to the night of the show and the teacher came up and she was like, Chris, are you sure you want to do this? Went out, sang, astounded everybody, started getting all the lead roles in all the school shows. Won a scholarship to Pineapple Studios when I was 16 for a summer school.
Wow.
And then it all just kind of went from there. I started getting professional theatre work. And just kind of I was in the right place at the right time. Came back home in 2007. I started working at the Pavilion in 2008. And then in 2009, I landed my first panto with the Pavilion as well.
Nice
again,
one.
just being in the right place at the right time. They were doing open auditions and I rocked up. Waited till everybody else had sang because the manager notoriously didn't like staff applying for things. Went in and then literally that was it. I got the part, and then fast forward almost 14 years later, and I still get pantos there, and I still do shows 2-3 times a year for them as well as running my own entertainment company, doing shows up and down the country and singing at weddings as well.
That's fantastic, man. Right, so I've got to ask, like, what song did you sing in the talent show when you were 13?
It was Westlife, Swear It Again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
So
well, I was their cover of I Have a Dream for it was like a kind of choir contest they were doing with other schools.
Right.
And pulled my first high school chick by singing Flying Without Wings. So there we go.
That's not an easy one to sing. So we had a school band called Premium, and the band manager heard me singing and school talent show, and then decided that he wanted to sign me up. And then he put me on like a kind of big regional singing contest, but made me sing Flying Without Wings. And it always gets to that point where it's like where Mark Fahey kind of goes, so impossible. It goes really, really high. Yeah. As it may seem, and I was like, yeah. Still to this day, cannot sing that song. And yeah, he made me go into a big regional singing contest with it to sing it. Everybody loved it. I hated singing it. And then there was a local radio host was judging it, and the host's school won. I mean, the guy was all right. He sang Master of the House from Les Mis. But it's not exactly a hard song to sing. That's just
I don't mean bad, but if Borat can sing it,
well, exactly.
But he did perform it very well. What he performed it very good. The whole package was good. So well, not dissing the Cohen.
Yeah, this is it. Whereas I was a complete twinkie 14-year-old that was probably looked about 10 singing a song that he shouldn't be singing. But yeah, it basically ended with an angry mum going up and slapping the judge because I should have won.
Wow.
So it was a quick exit. I kind of grabbed my mum and my stepdad. I was like, come on, we need to get to fuck. Like somebody's about to hit that judge.
I actually had something similar. I was doing a karaoke contest in a social club. I originally went to back up my mate because he was in it. And they were just like, do you want to go up and sing something? And I went, aye, all right. So I did it, and I got through to the semi-final. Did my song, and everybody loved it, to the point where it was like 5 minutes of them cheering, and I'm like, wasn't that good? Just get sit down. So guy that went up after me was like, oh, how the fuck do you follow that? And he went up and sung 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, Meatloaf, and he was brilliant at it, absolutely brilliant at it. And when it got to the judging, when they were doing it's this person, it's this person, and they thought they were everybody, all the audience thought they were leaving me to the end because they were all like Andy, and I'm like, I'm just this wee skinny kid for Airdrie at this point. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So the guy who sings Meatloaf got through. And I was just like, fair enough. So I was the first one to go up and shake his hand and like, well done. And then just a crowd of people were all going like, fix. And I'm like, get me the fuck out of here quickly before one Lithgow shoots me. But I was just like, just run.
And in my younger years, obviously because I'm a man of a certain age now, but in my younger years, I used to actually go around when I stayed in England, all the different pubs doing the big karaoke competitions and walking away with the winnings on them.
Nice.
So
I don't think you're a man of a certain age. I don't think you're a man of a certain age. I mean, you're what, like, I would say, like, maybe about probably a bit younger than me. And I'm 35. I would say maybe like 33, 32.
I'll take that. I'm 37.
Would not have pegged that at all. Wouldn't have pegged it. I would have thought like either same age as me or a bit younger.
It's the blonde hair dye, teaspoons on the eyes every morning, and Johnson's baby lotion. Swear by it.
There we go. Mine is just hiding from the sun on a regular basis.
Yeah. I look better when I'm sunburnt or a wee bit kind of brown. when I'm white, I do look a lot older because you can see all my crow's feet and my wrinkles then.
Nah, not at all. That's why God gave us Zoom and ring lights. I mean, that's what I'm using now, because everybody's like, "Oh, your skin looks so great," and I'm like, "No, it's a ring light. That's just it. That just takes it all away."
You can tell I don't use them. What I will do actually is pop my wee light on so you can see me better. It's not a ring light; it's just a lamp that I use when I'm in my desk.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you can see my wee bit better.
Yes, so is it on your good side or is it?
Well, see, this is it. We'll bring it. That might blind it now. Is that better? Does it make it look like an angel?
I can see I can see. You know what it reminds me of, just because of like that kind of side with the blonde. Do you remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes, I've been sitting watching the original film.
Remember Spike from the series?
Yeah.
What the blonde hair, the kind of white skin, like just from that side.
Yeah. I've been called worse. Let me see if I can get it actually facing onto me.
It's a compliment. James Marshall is a hell of a great guy. Well, I mean, all you got to do is do your kind of English. Oh bollocks, and that's it. You're sorted. Done.
Yeah. Oh bollocks.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got James Masters on the show. So what have you got coming up, my friend? Like especially with the cabarets and stuff. Like, sell it. What have you been doing?
So this year's been pretty busy with weddings actually. Obviously we've had 2 years worth of weddings to cram into 1 year. And this Saturday sees the start of my 2022 tour for the Rocky Horror Tribute Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we start off in Wales this Saturday, and then we've got tour dates right through until the 26th of November this year. Cool. So it's always good. And in the show, I start off as Brad, and I look like a very, very chunky Brad because I'm underdressed as Frank, so I've got the corset and everything on underneath it. And then I disappear and transform into Frank for the rest of the show.
Hey,
so I get to run around in stocking suspenders and big 10-inch platform heels.
That's difficult to do. Well, I had to do that just for a Halloween contest. Well, I did that for a Halloween contest in 2013. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I won £25 in the costume contest and got 3 death threats. So, oh wait, no, that was a Thomas video. It was totally 2 death threats. Went for Frank. 3 death threats for Thomas.
I dance in those heels as well. So
wow, that is a skill, man. That's impressive, because women were coming up to me saying, "You've lasted longer in heels than most women last in those heels," and I was like, "Well, shut up, fool. I know it."
Yeah, 2.5 hours solid, running around, dancing, chasing people around pubs and hotels. Yeah, it's
wow, and that's solid until 26th of November as well.
Yeah. So I'll have amazing calves.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Like you'll be coming up, the people just walking around just doing their whole calf distinction pose where it's just turned to the one side. You just see that muscle, just like See,
I'm a bit of a natural endomorph, so I build muscle very quickly. So at the end of the tour, I always resemble Michael McIntyre with abnormally large calves.
That is some image, especially thinking Michael McIntyre and a Frankenfurter. Oh man.
Yeah. You can tell when I've been doing Rocky for a few weeks because I've got to put my skinny jeans on and I can't actually get them down past my calves or up past my calves. So putting socks on, I've got to do it before I put my skinny jeans on because they won't budge.
Oh man, I blame skinny jeans for part of my anorexia when I was younger, because I went to Top Man, and I was getting a pair of jeans and tried to put them on, and I just couldn't get them over my leg, and I was like, what the hell? What? Because they were the right waist size, and I started freaking out, and I'm like, right, I need to start trying to lose more weight, blah 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 blah. Yeah, they were skinny jeans. I never realized that they were until afterwards, and I'm like, yep, the devil wears Top Man. I was gonna make a play about it, like devil wearing Top Man, about like the obesity and stuff, and I was like, nah, I'll just leave it now. But yeah, they're dicks.
I blame my ballet teacher. It was drilled into us massively to succeed in the dance world, especially ballet, that you had to be of a certain physique.
Right.
So from like the age of 15, I was drinking flavoured water, eating prawns rather than eating meals, and smoking rather than eating, because it's what dancers done. And it's carried on when we're right into adult life. I still battle massively with body image.
Wow.
And go through fad diets all the time because I just one day I'll feel amazing, and then the next day I'll wake up, look in the mirror, and I think, oh my god, you fat bastard. And then I'll starve myself for like 3-4 days.
It's something
solid.
that isn't really highlighted as much, is it? Like you know, body dysmorphia in men, like anorexia, bulimia, all that kind of stuff. And it's I mean, when did you get? Do you still kind of have those kind of relapses sometimes?
Yeah, constantly. So I spent from the age of, I'd say from the age of about 15, and like I was a very, very skinny twink. Like, you know, I was a 26-inch waist. Like I had not an ounce of fat on me. But from the age of 15, it was drilled in that you had to be a certain way, that it became part of the norm for me. So I would go weeks where I would eat next to nothing, and then I would have like days where I would pig out and I would buy like maybe a big full box of crisps, gorging the full thing, and then straight after that I'd be in the bathroom, stick my fingers down my throat, and going into extremes like that. It's lasted my entire life, to the point that my weight fluctuates constantly, because I'll do complete carb depletions where I won't eat a single carb for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'll lose weight, I'll look great, and then I'll go and eat a packet of crisps or a sandwich, and like something that a normal person would do. And then your body kind of puts it on and then some. So you then end up bigger than you were. So it's a constant kind of vicious circle. But it's been the one thing that stuck with me my entire life is body image. And although I perform quite a lot and people don't see it, like people don't see the self-conscious side of things. I'm a very, very self-conscious person. If I'm having a fat day, you'll know, because I'll wear a t-shirt with a shirt over the top of it. Or you'll never see me out in the summer just in a t-shirt if I'm out walking the dog or anything. I've always got a body warmer on, and it's to hide what I think is a belly and boobs. And I'm 37 now, so that's what 22 years I've kind of lived with that and dealt with that.
First of all, Chris, I want to say thank you so much for telling me that and feeling comfortable to tell me that. That takes a lot of guts to do. Having been through like both ends of the spectrum, like from being, you know, fat as fuck to like, you know, officially anorexic diagnosis. I know how tough that is to finally to admit to yourself, let alone tell basically a complete stranger over Zoom. So that's real balls, my friend. I really appreciate that. And I will say that you look fucking phenomenal, man.
Thanks.
Like honestly, I always like say that to people. It's like, I know I'm happily married and I've got kids, and I know that, but like you always get to you have to appreciate other people's beauty, no matter inside and out, and you've got both, my friend.
Thank you.
You're a great guy, and you're pardon my friends, you're a fucking shag. Awesome. So there you go. That could be in your next poster. A shag. Andrew Durning, that Metal Ginger show.
That's going to be my new tagline on Grindr now.
That should be, yeah. The shag. There you go. Grindr, you're welcome.
Yeah. Actually, I put a new picture up. I was working down in North Berwick last week at the golf, where I got my t-shirt tan. So I put a new picture up, and I have been inundated, and I mean absolutely inundated on it. Sometimes like guys that I would maybe go near, but 9 times out of 10 it's fat old men sending me pictures of their arseholes, and I'm like, come on, please stop.
Wow.
Like, it's not my thing at all. So if you're watching this and you're thinking he looks fit and I'm going to look him up on Grindr, if you send me a picture of your arsehole, I will fucking block you, and I'll probably hunt you down as well. That's interesting to hear. You always hear about, like, you know, the dick pics, because that's like the one that's like, I didn't realize it was like other parts of the anatomy that they would go for as well. Yes. Yeah. So
is it like the any holes a go kind of thing?
Pretty much. And I mean, like, I've got in big bold letters, do not send me a picture of your arsehole, it does fuck all for me. On Grindr, I don't get a lot of highs from people or messages from people. It's dick pics or arsehole pics. Wow. Another funny thing is, like, you always get girls saying that they get inundated on Facebook. I actually do get inundated on Facebook constantly with offers of sex and dick pics and wank videos, and guys like that are married, and or like guys that I've known for years, like standing with them, and I'm like, okay, like, and you know, I'm not the kind of person that's a kiss and tell.
Are these type of guys that are
or
claiming to be
two of
straight
them.
as well?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Like, don't get me
Wow.
wrong. One or two of them, I've been like, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
As you do, like, you never look a gift horse in the mouth.
exactly.
But yeah, like, it's just funny, like, because when girls always say that they get it, and guys
Yeah.
are like, oh my god, I get it constantly. Like,
Wow.
and it's
That's well. On one
it's like
hand,
people that I don't even know. Like, they might just see me commenting on a friend's post, and it'll pop up and like, see your kind of people you may know on Facebook.
yeah.
I check that all the time because obviously I run my entertainment agency and things. And
Mhm.
sometimes people will message on my personal page rather than through the business page.
Yeah.
So I'll check that quite a lot, and it'll be like, you'll look at this profile, and all they've done is sent me like a picture of them solid, or a video of the money shot. No comments, no nothing. And then you look and it's like they're a friend with the friend whose post you've just been commenting on and things like that.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's like, if I look like this dream gay goddess that everybody wants to pump, or if it's just a case of they look at my face and think he's easy.
Wow. I definitely would not think that, my friend. Definitely wouldn't think that.
Yeah, like I
But
all the time I get it. At least 2 or 3 a day.
Wow, 2 to 3 a day.
Yeah.
So you literally have like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner of dick pics?
I have an entire folder on my phone with everybody's dick pics in it.
Wow. I remember like
90% of the men I don't even know.
Wow. I mean, I remember like when I was growing up, in the club we used to drink in, there was a guy, a DJ, and basically if women would go up and want to get a song played, he'd be like, if you show me your tits, I'll play the song, and they would do it, and then he would take a picture of it, and he had what we called the tip book. You have basically got the modern equivalent of that.
I'm basically the inspiration behind the film The Banger Sisters. Remember they had the cock files? That is me. I have the cock files on my phone.
Wow. Gossip Girl, eat your heart out, eh?
I know.
Man, that's brilliant.
If I ever make it to the point of being so rich and famous that I do an autobiography, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 pictures in there.
Or is it going to be like one of those autobiographies where it's got like in the middle of it is the pictures of like their career, and then like you go into that and they all go bing bong, hello.
Yeah. Yeah, I can make it, like, I could actually probably like have a sellout pop-up book of dicks.
Probably good.
Just send them on to an artist and get them to
that should be your
in 3D.
That should be your Christmas calendar, I think. You should do a Christmas calendar. It's like a guess who of dick pics. Send it round to like people that you know, and then they'll be like, I'm gonna guess that one is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and any like donations, ironically, maybe go to like, you know, like an abuse shelter or something like that, just for the irony. Just like, haha.
I know it's insane. Like if I ever thought of myself as a comedian, I could do a one-man stand-up show just called The Cock Files, and just talk about the experiences of social media.
I'm pretty sure you could be a comedian.
Themselves.
You could do it. Even just doing like the one-man shows that you get at the Fringe, something like that. The cock files, I guarantee you'd be in the assembly hall selling out. That would be and see if that does happen. It goes ahead. Just let them know that I helped you with this inspiration.
Yeah, I'll have it there.
Yeah, just a picture of me next to one of your dick pics.
With a disclaimer: this is not this man's penis.
Well, because it's not, because underneath it just like, yep, of course it's ginger. What other color would it be? That's what I always hated in high school. Like, if you get ginger pubes, no, I'm an albino down there. Of course it's fucking ginger. What other color would it be? Purple. Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, like my hair's kind of quite greying, but down there, I'm still about 20 down there in terms of hair color. So I'm quite happy with that. That's
not bad. I mean, I'm still the same as well. Like the carpet still matches the curtains, as they say. It's one of those ones that people are like, did you shave your pubes because they were ginger? And I was like, no, I shaved my pubes like every other guy did, for vanity. To make it look...
It's the one phase I've never went through.
Well,
a manscapes, it's only It's only
Aye,
been clean and tidy, but I've never
aye. You
I've
give it
never done
maintenance.
the whole shaving thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is like it itches like a mofo, like for a couple of days. Like have you ever had like your legs shaved for charity or anything like that?
No. I once
Okay.
shaved my arms when I was like 17. I done drag.
Oh wow.
I used to
Very
shave
good.
my arms.
Yeah, because I once got
But
because I got my legs waxed to raise money for kids going to Lourdes one time. Well, and yeah, the burning afterwards. Oh my god, I felt like I looked like I was John Wayne after a stroke. That way I was walking, and they're like, "Give me this full list of things you've got to do, like for exfoliating your legs. Make sure you don't get ingrown hairs." I didn't even know these were a thing. But I'm doing all that stuff, and like my legs were just on fire for like a couple of hours. And then when I went to my bed, it just felt so weird because it was like
yeah,
my legs were just slipping and sliding all the time, and I'm like, "This is odd. There's no traction here."
I once got a back sack and crack for charity.
Oh
Now that is weird.
yeah,
When you're wiping a completely hairless backside, or you're washing a completely hairless backside, that is a weird sensation.
wow. Yeah, people
Yeah.
don't understand like about the hair in the butt crack. Well, especially see like if God forbid you ever have like a D&V bug, trying to clean down there is like a kamikaze war. It's like a war zone, man. It's like I was so glad when the boys were going through potty training just because I could use their wet wipes. I was like, "Good dancer, my ring's never been cleaner."
See, I'm blessed with not having a lot of body hair anyway, so I don't have too many problems with that. I've got about 3 chest hairs that have taken me 37 years to grow. So
yeah, it's like the places where you want hair, like you're like where like I always wanted like some hair on my chest and stuff. Like there's hardly anything there. And the places you're like, why is there hair there? Like your butt crack. It's like, really?
I know.
Does it have to be that much? Makes you look like one of those weird kind of like those like 70s predators from the waist down. The ones that you'd see like in those documentary shows in the back. And they were just all hair from the arse down. the ones that were always just like, he's a beast. And you're like, I'm not a beast. I don't want that. Go away. Oh man, we've spent a lot of time talking about like that type of thing, and that's the joy of my podcast. It goes from let's talk about mental health to right hairy arse cracks.
Yeah.
Well, the people that can roll with those punches are definitely good ones in my book. You're a good guy, Chris. Definitely.
But that's it. It's been able to kind of look at yourself and laugh at yourself, wasn't it?
Aye, definitely. Especially like I always make the joke of like I'm ginger, left-handed, Protestant, and I support Celtic and a bit mental health issues. Satan is down there right now, waiting for the keys to go a worthy replacement. I always use that one.
That's kind of like so going back to the mental health kind of aspect of things.
Yeah.
So obviously we touched a wee bit on the fact that growing up and even to this day, like body image has always been a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. Throughout school, it was awful because I was like the 15-year-old kid that had only just hit puberty that was sweating like a bloody rapist constantly because I was so insecure. Although I'd done the school shows and everything, and I loved the praise and things like that, I could be doing the show and sitting there when I've no lines on the stage. And I've seen it as recently as a couple of years ago, actually, when I had a kind of a mini breakdown. I'll sit on the stage doing the show and everybody sees the smiling face. And then when I'm not talking, I'm sitting there going, right, I've had enough of this. Like, I could just go and off myself. I could literally walk into those wings and just like talk myself and nobody would be none the wiser. And that's another thing that kind of stuck with me for most of my life, from the really low self-esteem and low body image. Mm-hmm. For me, talking about it openly now, it took for me to get to my lowest point last year. So last year, on Father's Day, I cycled down to Sunderland from Glasgow with 2 of my pals. We done it for chest, heart and stroke. Partly in memory of my dad, but then partly because I had a minor heart attack last year. Wow. So like I'm at that point where I'm like, shit, my dad died at 54 from heart disease. I'm a prime candidate for heart disease. Do you know what I mean? Like, I eat shit, I smoke, I drink, I do exercise, but like, according to doctors, I'm clinically obese. I'm not. Like, I'm a 32-inch waist. I'm a 40-inch chest, like, so there's a wee bit of wiggle room there, but like you hear the doctor saying obese, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm clinically obese here. But for me, like, so on the lead up to that cycle, I'd been battling for months, for a good, like, maybe 3-4 months, where I'd hit a dark spell and I just couldn't shake it off. I couldn't get out of it. Every morning I was waking up crying, and I've never made any object of hiding. Like, from the age of 15, I'd never wanted to be here. Like, anybody that knew me throughout that time would have heard me saying that at least once. Last year, quite a lot of people heard it quite a lot, and I attempted it several times last year, and it got to the point where we arrived in Sunderland. We'd just done the cycle. It should have been a big celebratory thing, and I went and tried to jump off a cliff.
Wow.
And had it not been for my friends stopping me and the police happening to go by, I would have been gone, because the thoughts in my head had got to the point where I'd convinced myself so much that I was a worthless piece of shit. I was fat, I was horrible, I wasn't, I didn't deserve happiness. I'd tried, like, so many times in my life to get happiness and always been fucked over by exes and things. So it all came at loggerheads, but what changed it for me was seeing my family mourning when I was still there. And that kind of changed it, because I seen my family hurting, and I saw that actually I did have a support network. I did have a lot of friends that were there to help me. It might not feel like it 24/7, but I'm a bit of a hermit crab, so I don't reach out to people all that often, and live a kind of bit of a loner lifestyle. But like, so I got home from Sunderland on the Monday, rang my doctor in tears, begging them to put me back on antidepressants and beta blockers, and I brought myself back off them after 3 months. Now that was July last year, probably September last year. I came off the antidepressants and beta blockers again, and it's almost a year that I've felt the best that I've ever felt in my life. Like, the kind of niggle with the weight still there in the back of the mind, but it's not to the point where it controls my life anymore. I've stopped dating, so I've stopped dating guys now. I've just stopped doing it. I've stopped looking for a boyfriend, not because I think that I'm unworthy of it, just I'm sick of getting the shit from the bottom of the barrel. Do you know what I mean? Like, every guy I've ever dated turned out to be a complete and utter fucking wank stain. And I've been made to feel like shit, or I've been made to feel like a sex object, or I've been made to feel like I'm in the wrong because I'm maybe better looking than them, or I get more attention than them, or nights out and things. So it's all the constant put downs and everything. I just thought, you know what, like, if that's what relationships are going to do for me, fuck them. Like, I don't care. So I'm now single by choice, which is great. I do use the old dating app. So we spoke about Grindr. I use another couple online as well. But I don't actually meet many people from it. And I don't know if it's like the realization from last year, like, because I used to sleep with a lot of people in my single days. That I would kind of go out and sleep with a lot of people, and then I would get to the point where I was bored. Then I would get a boyfriend, and then pour my heart and soul into that, and then that would go to, like, down the shitter, basically. So now, like, I'll speak to a lot of guys, but I don't actually meet a lot of guys anymore, because I found that from the age of 15 up until recently, for me, having lots of sex was almost like a kind of a validation that I was worth something, that made me feel wanted. But then when I look back, and I'm like, half those guys don't know my fucking name. Like, we shagged behind fucking, like, pubs and out in the middle of the wilderness and everything. So that there's no connection, there's no nothing. But for those 2 minutes, I felt hot as fuck. And I've basically just stopped doing all that, like all the triggers that used to make me, like, because after that I'd go home and I'd feel like a worthless piece of shit again. So I'd be like, oh, well, that's it. I had a quick 5-second fumble and I'm back home living on my own again. Whereas now I'm just like, I love living on my own. I've got my wee dog, I've got my 2 budgies. I can do what the fuck I want. I don't need to answer to anybody other than the dog, because he is very, very demanding. But like, if I'm off for a weekend or I'm off for a couple of days during the week, I can chuck the dog in the car with the tent and go away and camp without like anybody being like, oh no, I don't like camping, or no, I can't do that, or no, I'm working, why the fuck are you up and I'm working? And I'm just like that, like, haha, fuck you, people that are married and everything, because you've got the raw deal.
We really do.
Yous have.
Yeah.
I think more people should realise that being self-partnered is quite a good thing.
Yeah, there's been a few people that I've met recently that have all said that single by choice, and I think that is something that what people like society kind of needs to realise as well, that not everybody needs a partner. Not everybody needs to be like coupled up. For some people, it just doesn't work, and that's fine. There shouldn't be a pressure on it. To go down that route. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. And the fact that you've been able to take that and come through the other side of like those experiences that you went through, which is really, as someone who's went through stuff like that, it's hard to get back from, and you've done it. You've done it the right way. And normally I would ask if you could give one piece of advice to anybody struggling, but I think you really kind of summed it up. Like, you had your friends round, you had the police were there, you saw your family were mourning for you when you were still alive. So you kind of answered the question without me needing to ask it, because you went through the experience and saw the ways to help you. And that's really the best thing that you can do. I'm really proud of you, man.
The best bit of advice I would give to people, so for me, I bottled it up for 20 years. So for 20 years, I lived a life where I stopped talking to friends. I would distance myself from people and things, and it has affected my relationships with people, because I was scared of making new memories with them, because at any given point I knew that I was, or in my head was telling me that you had to end your life. It was the only way to stop feeling like shit. Yeah. So the best bit of advice I would do, and like I say, it took me 20 years to get there. Speak to people, let people know it's not a bad thing to live with a mental health issue. Every single person in the UK has a mental illness, no matter how severe. Even just like low self-esteem, looking in the mirror, thinking that you're fat and ugly, like not being able to make new friends or anything. Everybody's got a mental barrier. There's not one single person that doesn't. And it's the ability to speak about it that actually helps, because when you speak about it, you'll see that there is so many other people there that are going through similar experiences. There's so much help out there if you want it and if you need it as well. And I think that's part of the thing. It's when you're in the darkness of mental health, it's very, very difficult to see the light again. And it's very scary to think that you can speak about it to people. Like I'm an advocate for it now. Every year I post my experience on Facebook. And I let people know that my inbox is always open. Yeah. Day or night, even if we don't speak, even if you're just a friend on Facebook because we've met at an event or something, my inbox is always open. I'll always give somebody the time of day, because I know that little minute or that 2-minute conversation can mean the world to somebody, and it could save a life. And that's the biggest thing. Like, if you're ever feeling at the point where you're battling so hard to get the demons out of your head, speak to somebody. If you don't want to speak to Samaritans, if you don't want to speak to your doctor, if you've got me on Facebook, drop me a message, ring me. I've been there, I've lived through it. I can give sound advice and help pull you out of the shit.
Some good advice, Chris. So for my faithful followers, where can we find you? Like, where's the links? Sell, baby, sell.
So on Facebook, they can find me as Chris Scougal. If you're adding me on Facebook though, please don't be a weirdo. Please don't send me dick pics unless it's a nice dick. If you're on Instagram, you can get me on there as well, just Chris Scougal. There is my performer page on Facebook as well, so if you want to kind of keep up to date with things, although I very rarely post on it, then it's Chris Scougal Performer. And if you want to see where we're at with shows and the Rocky Horror Show, you've got at Chris S Entertainment on Facebook and at the Rocky Tribute Show on Facebook as well. And then you can catch up with all our stuff on there and come and see me parading around in stockings and suspenders somewhere.
And if you like what you see, and if you like what you see, then try and find them on Grindr.
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
it's not hard. Like the log into Grindr, a very small minority that has their face picture, and again, being very biased, I'm probably the hottest guy on there as well. So you're
I
not
would say
going to miss
so.
me.
Yeah, I would probably say so. As I've never even been on Grindr, but I could probably attest it without even needing to worry. But if anybody is wanting to find Chris, the links will be in the description below. Bar the Grindr. That's something you'll have to hunt for yourself. I don't want YouTube shutting me down.
Yeah.
But like, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Like some of the stuff that you shared, that's tough to do. And the fact that you were able to share it with me, I feel really honored that you were able to tell me your story. Thank you so much. And just know that you are worth a lot to a lot of people. You're valued, and it's the same deal. If you need anything, if you need to talk or whatever, drop me a line. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the common good, to help people. So no one goes through the same shit that I went through.
That's it. It's hopefully sharing our stories and letting people know. Hopefully it helps, even if it just helps one person.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't it? It's...
Well, if it helps one person, it makes all the difference. And even if they just want to like log on, watch an episode that just takes them out of their day for a wee half hour or an hour, it's worth it. If it puts a smile on someone's face and makes someone just feel that little bit better.
Oh, completely.
Definitely, man. But I wish you nothing but success. You're getting a lot of success. Pardon me. You're getting a lot of success anyway. I'm just wishing for more success. More success.
Oh, honestly, thank you so much, and thanks for having us.
No, you're very welcome, man. But I'm now starting to get the confidence where I can be like, right, I can ask these guys now. I can ask these guys. Well, I'm getting
just go for it. Honestly, like
yeah.
I'll randomly message people on Facebook all the time, and it's how I promote my business is doing that. But then in the same breath, I won't randomly message a friend that I've not spoke to for months because they're like, that's it, we're fell out now.
You always find that, don't you? It's like I've known like one of my best mates for almost 30 years, and sometimes I'll be like, "So you been up to?" Nah, fuck off.
Aye.
Whereas then they're all pouring your heart and soul out over a podcast, and you've only met them for like the first time.
I know it's insane. Like I think I've got like over 1,500 people on my Facebook, and I could count in one hand how many of them are actual physical friends. Do you know what I mean? Like people that I've met physically, and obviously not including family. But yeah, like it's just crazy, the social media world, isn't it?
It really is. You look at it and you're like 1,500 friends on Facebook, and I speak to maybe 10 of them. And I maybe socialize with another like 5 of those.
Yeah. And then TikTok's becoming a thing as well, that like kids growing up, that they're feeling the pressure to get followers on TikTok to become TikTok famous or Insta famous now.
Yeah.
It's a changed world from when we were kids running around playing tag and having water balloon fights and sitting in the Atari.
Yeah, definitely. My case, it was the N64. We just got that, but the first one was the Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive 2. That was
see, being a wee bit older than you, Mega Drive wasn't out when we got our first computer, so we were on the Sega. Was it the Sega Master System or something like that they called it?
In fairness, like you're 37, so you're younger than my older brother. He'll be 38 this year. And that was our joint first console because our parents had no money. And that was just when I got to sit. It was Christmas and my 6th birthday. Around that point was when we got the Mega Drive 2, and we were like, oh. We were always very selective with what we got. Like we got that, and then we got the N64, and then I got the PS2, and then I was like, wait, they're actually going to do this online now? No, I'm out. I was like, I don't want to get my ass kicked by a 12-year-old for Vietnam. Like,
yeah, like we weren't massively spoiled as kids. Christmases we always got kind of spoiled, and I think I must have been about 4 or 5, and I remember my sister got the Commodore 64, my brother got the system, and I got the Atari. And I was raging that I got the Atari, and it just came with these shitey joypads on it rather than an actual thing. So I just used to hijack my brother's Sega and play Alex the Kid.
Sounds like a good plan. Well, it was the same deal. Like whenever I had like like my consoles or whatever, or my brother got a game for it and I didn't, we were like, "Can I get on GoldenEye?" Fuck off. Well, I thought we'll play GoldenEye first, then I want to play your F-Zero X. What? All right, then. And then the controller would wind up halfway across the room because you'd be so pissed off.
That was.
But I hate that rainbow bridge in Mario Kart.
I think I stopped after like the first Nintendo. That I stopped kind of bothering with games consoles, and then in my teens, that a couple of my friends had like N64s, and my brother got an N64. So I started playing the likes of Mario Kart and things, but
yeah,
I just because I was always like kind of prancing around and singing and dancing, I never really had time to sit play games consoles.
Yeah,
even now I don't have one in my house.
Same. I don't have anything either. But after the PS2, I really should have actually gave up at the N64. But I was still, my mates are all like, they're all gamers. They all like to play computer games stuff. And I thought, well, I need something to keep talking to them about. Otherwise, they'll ditch me. So it was like, get the PS2, I was playing that and stuff like that. And then when I started going to the online route, I was like, nah, but that's a bit too far for me again. I was just sitting gathering dust after that point. I was always on stage or I was going out doing performing, all that kind of stuff. Well, so get to the stage where if they start talking about it, they go, oh, have you played that new thing on the P? I just go, I'm out. You guys carry on. Bring me back in when you talk about something else. And I'll just sit. It's when they try and explain it to me as well. And I'm like, I'm not listening. I'm just having my juice. Well, if you're still talking about games, by the time I get to the end of this pint of Pepsi, I'm going home.
It's the same with like Love Island and things like that as well. Like,
my god!
About Love Island, I've not put myself through it this year. I did once I used to do a radio breakfast show.
Cool.
With one of my arsehole exes.
Not so cool. I hope he fries.
I know. But like, so we used to do that, so I had to watch it because it was a talking point on the breakfast show, and I got into that here, but then I'm just like, I don't have to watch it, so there's no need for me to watch it. Same with songs and music. Like people say to me, "What's your favorite song? What's your favorite music?" And I'm like, I listen to music day in, day out for work, and I sing songs every weekend for work. Like when I'm not gigging, I listen to musicals because I sing along to them and I know them word for word. I don't know modern songs. I don't know modern music unless I need to learn it. It's that kind of thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you do it, I always
say that music for me stopped in 2004. So it's like anybody
for me as well.
So I'm like, any bands that are still going that were around in 2004, I'll listen to their stuff. Anything that's came out since then, you've got to have a link to 2004 previous. One example I use is I like my kind of metal music, so I like a band called Killswitch Engage. And the singer who used to be in that band formed a new band in 2019. And my mates were like, well, you won't be able to listen to this because you always say, oh, everything after 2004 is dead. I'm like, Howard Jones still signed for Killswitch Engage in 2004. It counts.
Yeah.
Well, I'll check it out.
Well, see, the last bands I actively went to see or bought singles and things for was like Steps, Finger Boys, Spice Girls. That is my kind of era. Don't get me wrong.
I got them as well. In fairness, I got them.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I'd done a few stints at Tea in the Park.
Cool.
And it was like Calvin Harris, Biffy Clyro, and things like that. I didn't have a fucking clue what their music was. So like people were standing singing, like my sister and my brother-in-law and that were all like dancing away and bouncing that. Like I'm kind of awkwardly jumping with my wee smuggled in like pouch of vodka, thinking I don't actually have a fucking clue what I'm singing because I stuck out like a sore thumb. Yeah. So for the entire Tea in the Park weekends I actually went, I just got pissed. But it was like awkward because I didn't know the music. Same, like, I don't go nightclubs or anything because I don't know the music that they play. Yeah.
It's like this whole, like, the Jerry Cinnamon guy. It's like that's around the now. It's a Scottish guy. It's like I know of him because other people have talked about him. See, when I first heard the name, I thought he was like a 50s singer because it just has that kind of that name where you expect a Jerry Cinnamon to be kicking about with a Dean Martin or a Frank Sinatra. And I was like, why are people liking stuff by the 50s all of a sudden? They were like, oh, Andrew, you've got kids. You'll need to learn. I'm like, right now they listen to fucking Baby Shark.
See, I know that obviously Jerry Cinnamon's got Belter.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because it's one of the most requested songs for weddings. That I have to stand and sing "She Is a Belter." And I'm like,
oh man.
no.
In fairness, I look back at my wedding video that was in 2016, and I sang the Ed Sheeran song that was it We Found Love?
Perfect.
No, it wasn't that. It was the one before. It was like that, "Take me into your loving arms."
Oh yeah,
one.
the one that he done with Beyonce. Was that the one that he done with Beyonce? Wasn't it?
No, that was Perfect. So it was one before that. It was
Oh, I found a love.
I was like it's like we found
me.
That's the one with Beyonce. The one before it is it's like we found love right where.
Oh right, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Well, so I sung that one at my wedding. Now I'm like cringe. It's like I should have picked something timeless, but no,
I used to have a dream for my wedding that I was going to invite. So I was going to do it backwards because I like doing things different from people. So rather than inviting close family and friends to the ceremony, I was going to do it the other way and invite absolutely everybody. So I was going to hire out a theatre. Basically invite all my friends and family, who in turn invite all of their friends and family, but everybody has to RSVP because they must have a ticket to get in. Nice. So they would all rock up, and there would be a gauze across the front of the stage. So you'd see a big white marble archway. There'd be like a kind of skyline gauze behind, like on the top of the archway. Come What May from Moulin Rouge would come on. I would come out and start singing the whole "Never Knew I Could Feel Like This," and then the prospective future husband would then come out singing the second bit, and then when it reaches the big crescendo, the skyline gauze would fly out, and there would be the gay male voice choir doing the whole backing for it.
Nice.
So a big massive thing, and then I would get married in front of everybody. So just make a big kind of spectacle of it. And then like the meal in the evening would then just be for like close family and friends. I was going to do it in complete backwards. But one, I've never met somebody worthy enough of marrying. I almost did, but I cancelled that wedding, thank fuck. But two, I've never met anybody just as crazy as me that would do that. That's a big enough exhibitionist in that sense that they would love to kind of show off and do that. I have actually. I've been talking to a guy that I met, shall we say. I won't go into too much details of it, but we got to know each other rather well. And he's slightly older. Like I've always went for like kind of older guys. In
fairness, I'm older women as well. My wife's 5 years older than me, but she looks about 10 years younger than me. So it's the great part. It's old enough to know better, but young enough to get ID'd.
Yeah. Well, so this guy I've been talking to, and like he seems nice. Like he's absolutely lovely. He's single. Seems to have his head screwed on. Nice eyes, nice smile. And I keep saying, I'm like, why don't you come over and we'll snuggle up and watch a wee film? Because he likes cuddles as well. He's non-scene the same as me, so he's a. I'm trying to think of this in terminology of now because I'm so out of touch with the gay community and the gay scene and terminology, but I'd probably if a gay person or someone that's in the community that knows the right terminology was describing me, they would probably say that I'm a cisgendered, non-scene, heteronormative gay man, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
I know, whereas before I just used to be like, I'm a poof. But I can't say that anymore because it offends people.
I know. I would just say, I'm ginger.
I'd just always say, like, if somebody said to me, oh, if you get a missus, and I'm like, nah, bent as an I'm Bob Nothen. But you can't say that anymore. But I'm probably like the ungayest gay man in the whole wide world. And this guy's the same. And I'm like we actually have a lot in common here. Like, let's kind of see what happens. And like, so we have went and walks and things. And he's met my dog and he gets on great with the dog and the dog loves him.
That's the key.
Yes, I'm like, right, so at what point do we take this from pleasantries to let's go for dinner? And see what happens, or why don't you come here and I'll cook because I'm an amazing cook. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you can always see what happens. Like, and worst comes to worst, like people do those like self-marrying things now. Like, where they'll like commit to themselves. You could just do that.
Yeah,
like, make it just make it a one-man show.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm a qualified funeral celebrant.
I could just picture you like recording all this, but for your funeral. So when you're dead, it's just like the Elvis hologram coming out. Like, yeah, I could see you doing that, definitely.
Absolutely, completely. Like the reflection song at my funeral isn't going to be a sad song. When I die, I want to get cremated at Dildowie Crematorium. They've got 2 screens up either side of the catafalque.
Yeah.
And for the reflection song, where they normally play a really sad song and people sit and cry, I want them to put a CD graphic karaoke on, and I want everybody to get up and stand and dance and sing and cheer and laugh. And
nice.
Just remember, like, the absolute tosspot of a crazy cunt that I've been for my entire life.
Yeah.
Do you know that way? Like,
I know, it was like when my great auntie passed away. And we were sitting at her for her funeral, and it's just that bit of like reflection, and it was "This Is the Way to Amarillo" because that's what she wanted. Yeah. And you're all kind of sitting there song, but at the same time, when it gets to the Shala, we're all going.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The music going in, I want them to be upset and crying when they go in, and I want them to be upset and cry when the eulogy starts as well. But then I want them to laugh and joke. But then the song for them leaving, I recorded a song called "True Love" when I was 15, and it was when I first started battling with my mental health. That fucker's going to get played as they're going out because I want everybody to leave that crematorium crying so that everybody goes, "Fuck me, some pure legend's been in there and died."
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's
so
like
that's my secret weapon. It's like, have a party and things, but when you're leaving, remember that I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, because I'm torn. I'm like, I either want them to be like so broken, like with everything, that they're just like seriously contemplating their own existence, or so hyped up walking out like, "I'm glad he's dead." Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, half the people that I know would probably be that, think, "Fuck, that arsehole's gone." Because I am notoriously a bit of a cunt. Like, I'm kind of quite blunt and honest with people, but I think that comes from years of battling with myself.
Yeah.
That I don't suffer fools. It's came more over lockdown as well. I don't suffer fools gladly anymore. So, like, if somebody's annoying me, I'll call them out there and then, rather than like kind of waiting it out. Even if it makes them look like a dick in front of people, I'm just like, nah, like, do you know what? You've just tried to make me out to be it. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you're just like, life's too short to spend it with people that annoy you.
Yeah, completely, absolutely, massively. This is why I love my own company. I love myself. I don't annoy myself. Like, I should have been single years ago.
Yeah, it's like I always say to Alison, I'm like, I just want to spend time with people that I really truly love, like you, and well, mostly you. And she's like, "What about the boys?" I'm like, "Let's not go there." But it's the same idea. It's like you finally just get to that stage. I think that's something that's been great about what happened with the pandemic. I mean, there was a lot of negatives, but everybody's reassessed their priorities. I mean, if the pandemic hadn't came in and I hadn't lost my auntie during that and all that stuff, I wouldn't be doing the stuff I'm doing now, and finally going to be doing a career that I love and that I really love doing, and finally be able to say, "Fuck you, day job, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just so fantastic. I'm just like, yes.
I mean, I've always kept on a part-time job, and part of that was because my mum used to always say to me, "You've always got to have a fallback."
Oh, aye.
So during lockdown, it was great because so before lockdown hit, I was a funeral director part-time. When lockdown hit, I got so fucking busy. I was living like a king. And then after 6 months, it went really, really quiet again. I was like, "Oh shit, like, I've got a part-time job here." So I then changed funeral directors, went full-time. And that was me. I was ready to hang up the hat and performing, and just be like, "Right, that's it. I'll just do performing part-time."
Yeah.
But
you can combine the two. Perform at funerals. That could be an interesting one.
I could, yeah.
Yeah. Well, right, we'll make a deal. If I croak it before you, which could be very likely because I'm so fucking bonkers, well, you perform at my funeral. Guns N' Roses Don't Cry, if you could learn it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But you've seen that you obviously you've got the drag queen that goes to weddings singing "It Should Have Been Me."
Yeah.
I could go to funerals and either do "It Should Have Been Me" or like "Thank Fuck It's You."
Yeah. That could be a neat. See if that. Yeah, see if that happens. Like, please, just like we'll get promoting it. We'll do a promotion for it. You could even do it as a sketch. Like, write a script for it and just be like, it's someone like a drag queen that's turned up to the wrong event. Like they're meant to be at the wedding. It turned out it's the funeral, but they're already in their drag and singing. They're like, fuck it, and it is so totally inappropriate songs. Well,
massively. I mean, I would want something like that in mind. But like the whole long and short of that was, so in October last year, obviously like during lockdown, I was ready for chucking it all. But then in October last year, obviously theatres and things opened up again. So I left my job to go back into panto last year. And then obviously we got locked down again over Christmas. So we end up not being able to finish off the panto and things. But it came to January and it kind of got to the point where I was like, right, do I return to work and do I give up? Or do I fight like fuck harder than I've ever fought? And I've never returned to work. So I run my business full time now. And I'm loving it. Like hot days when it's not too hot for the wee dog, I can get him out and take him for walks. But I could be sat in the office working. So I still do get up. So every morning I've still got the routine. I get up, I get showered, I take the dog for a walk, I come in, I make a coffee, and I come up and I sit in the office and I sit in the laptop.
Aye. That's key, especially for mental health, is having routine.
Yeah, so I'll sit here for a couple of hours. I'll go downstairs, I'll have a wee cigarette, I'll let him out for the toilet and things. I'll take a morning break, I'll take a lunch break, and then I'll take an afternoon break, and then I'll leave the office normally around about kind of 4:30, 5 o'clock. If I've not got a lot on, then I will quite happily down tools at say 1, 2 o'clock. But it's nice because on days like this, I can just be like, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm not working today. I'm going to sit in the garden all day, or I'm going to sit and watch a film, or I'm going to chuck Buddy in the car and we're going to go to Loch Lomond for the day or anything. It's nice to have that freedom as well now. Because one thing I've been tied down in a job was I always found that I couldn't get holidays at the same time as family. So like my family's kind of quite split. So my brother stays in Shetland, my sister stays in England, and my mum stays in Motherwell.
Motherwell's the hardest one.
Yeah, it is. Like my mum stays so close to me, and I very rarely go and visit her. But I found like during lockdown or just after lockdown, like so we were all supposed to have like a wee family kind of get together in the caravan last August, and I couldn't get the holidays from work. And I was like, you know, like it's always the same people that get the same holidays, and and they get the time off that they want.
The office politics.
And like everybody knows that I'm completely family orientated. My Christmas tree went up on the 8th of November in 2020, and it stayed up until the 1st of January this year, when it came down. Reason behind that was because I didn't get to see my family, so we celebrated Christmas in July last year. That's when I seen them, and they all came to me for Christmas dinner, and it was a barbecue because it was the middle of summer, but we still done Christmas. I had the marquee and everything up in the garden, all playing Christmas songs. So for me, not being able to get the time off from work to see my family on the very rare occasion that they come to visit was a big thing for me as well, to be like, I need to go self-employed. Like I need to just bite the bullet and just do it now. And that's it. It's quite scary because I run my business without any grants. So like I didn't get any startup funding, I didn't get any business grants or anything to do it. But everything that I've got has been bought from salaries from me working to build my business. But yeah, touch wood. Yeah, it's serving me all right just now. Yeah,
and it's good, like because it's similar reasons to why I finally bit the bullet as well. Like because I want to have more time with my kids. With them constantly, like, you know, between going like nursery, like my wife working a back shift, like there wasn't really kind of a stable routine. And if I was trying to get time off my work, and having to go through all that and all that process, and I was like, I don't need this. I was like, I want to be able to just be like, right, you need me for the kids, I'm there. Well, you don't need to worry about it. All good. Well, and it's the same deal. It's like family is what it's became more important to me since all the stuff happened with the pandemic, and I'm like, no, I do not want to miss any time with my boys that I have to. As I don't want to be like, oh, I need to fight for this holiday, or I need to fight But for this time off, I want actually be able to have like a full Christmas holiday, 2 weeks with my family and not worry about it, not think, oh, I've got to go back into work this day or that day. Well, and I was like, fuck it, I've just got to bite the bullet and do it. And again, start the journey. But I know that I'll be 10 times happier and I'll work 10 times harder doing the stuff that I'm doing than that.
Oh yeah, you massively do. Like if I don't kind of put myself out there and bring in bookings and things, I don't make any money. And that's the kind of big driving force for me as well. Because I'm like, right, if you're struggling, it's your own stupid fault. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you've no money to go out this weekend on your weekend off, that's your own stupid fault for not kind of working hard and bringing in more bookings. Don't get me wrong, like my year is manic. It is absolutely manic this year, and I've just released the last 4 dates before I came onto this call for this year. But I'm already filling up next year. Like, I'm taking bookings right up until 2025 at the minute.
Nice.
Just to kind of keep the diary going and make sure that I've got plenty of working things there. Yeah. It's hard. It is hard. Like I'm constantly nagging hotels and venues and pushing myself, and then you see other competitors will then spring up and try and rip off your ideas, and you're like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's nothing better than the original.
Well, this is it. There's a reason that I'm branded the UK's leading tribute to the Rocky Horror Tribute Show, and we even performed it in front of some of the cast from the original film in October last year in Manchester. So it's like, take that as an accolade.
Yeah, definitely. And if people are trying to rip you off, then they must think you've got something really good that they think they can make a success off of it.
Oh yeah, no, massively. And I think part of the thing that's made my Rocky Horror Show such a success is the attention to detail. So it's not just the costumes, which anybody could buy a costume, don a wig, and pretend that they're Frank. It's the ability to become the character. So like when I play Frank, it's kind of a cross between Tim Curry and David Bedella. You know, and it's a very kind of well thought out character. I come away from the script so many times. So depending on what's happening, I come away from the script, but I never come away from the script in character. So if something happens, from the minute I'm dressed as Frank to the minute I take that makeup off, I am Frank, irrespective of what happens, irrespective of whether an audience member heckles me or says something funny. I'll always come back with something bigger and better. But when we tell the show, we relive the show to the point that it's like you pretty much think you're watching the real deal. And it's like, it's a difficult thing to do. Like I've been a fan of Rocky ever since I was a kid. And I've been a fan of the stage show ever since I first seen it when I was about 18, 19. You know, so like I know the story inside out. I know absolutely everything about it. It's not, obviously it's about making money because we love making money. But for me, it's like Rocky's my baby. It's the one show that I've invested the most money into. Every single costume has been handmade. You know, so like the likes of Magenta's maid dress, the alien, like kind of the Transylvanian dress that she wears at the end, the big beehive wig, it's all been handmade. Frank's jacket, I bought a jacket in a charity shop for £5, and I then customized it so that it looks like the jacket that Frank wears in the film. Obviously the things that I have bought is like wigs I've bought and restyled, or shoes I've bought, but everything else has been handmade for the show. So there's a lot of love and attention gone into it, and all the scenery's handmade as well and hand painted by me.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic, man. And that's what you want to see, and that's someone that does the research, cares about the craft, and cares about the characters as well. And that is something that sets you apart. Some people will just treat it as like, you know, it's a gig and go home. It's your thing. It's something you've worked hard at, and you can tell just in the way you speak how passionate you are about it. So yeah, take that #1 accolade and just flaunt it in everybody's faces because you've earned it.
I do.
Good. Well, Chris, I'm glad that I've devoted my extra time to you today. Like,
I
normally
know,
I'm
I
like,
was just looking at that.
normally I'm like,
We've
normally like
spoke
we've
for
got,
an hour and 10 minutes.
I know. Normally I'm like, right, my Zoom producer is telling me to come off because no, damn you Zoom. And I thought, you know what? I want some more time with this guy. What, and we can have we have a good chat. And it's been thoroughly. Well, that was gonna not be proper English. It's an absolute pleasure speaking with you. A real honor. You're such a great guy. What, as I've said previously, you are a shag. Put that on your posters.
Thanks.
What,
And as Frank would say, I'm privileged to have been part of it. It's like thrilled and privileged all rolled into one.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, just keep me updated with anything that's going on, so we can get promoted as well. What I say, we Scottish performers, we've got to support each other, man. Too many stab each other in the back, and I'm no one of them.
I know. It's we're all out there to do the same thing. Like, I'll help anybody, absolutely anybody. So
yep, bring each other up, don't tear each other down.
Definitely. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. So until next time, my faithful followers, I've been Andrew Durnan. This has been Chris Scougal. All the links, as I've said previously, will be in the description below. Check it out. Grindr, find that one yourself. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye-bye.
Take care. Catch you soon.